out.
Everybody was
People
screaming
passing
in the
out.
theaters. Like, it was kind of crazy. Like, everybody's clapping.
It just felt like it was 1985 again. Like, we don't get lit about it.
We weren't even alive in 85.
You weren't even alive
in 85. That's the crazy thing, but...
There's nobody who we get this excited about at all. Like, Beyonce paid too much money to pass out Beyonce. You better remember. It passed out at the Michael Jackson concert. Pass out, men and women.
Yeah, fainting.
They would have to take them out the crowd.
Injured. Yeah. Like, it was just your head was almost burned. Like, it could have been real, real bad. And Joseph walks in and says, "Can he perform?
Can he perform?
That's all. We got to tour tomorrow. We got to go." And they're like, "Bro, your son almost died. And you worried
about them." Michael Jackson brought the Bloods and the Crips together in the 80s. What? 81? Michael ain't there.
They ain't coming to see you, Otis. They're coming to see Michael.
And Joseph's like, "Michael, stop looking out that window." He said, "Michael, come get back to work." Okay, y'all, back at it again with another one. It's Josh. Okay, Alex and
Lane.
Okay, we here with another spoil review. Josh and Josh at the movies. Okay, but today we're here to talk about Michael. Okay, I wish I could put that. That's not gonna be an edit, but anyways, yes, y'all. So the Michael movie, amazing. I want to say it made 100. Is it $1 billion now?
I don't know if it's $1 billion, but it's definitely up there.
It was the high. Yeah, it's up there. It's the highest selling record. Movie autobiography of all time. Just like Thriller is the highest selling record of all time, and even if people beat it, they didn't. Okay. But yes, I'm very impressed with this movie. I guess let's just talk about our initial impressions before watching the movie with the trailer. For me personally, I was very excited. I remember getting super excited to see this. I wasn't expecting to see no Michael movie in 2026, so I don't know. It just made me feel like a super fan, and I don't feel that way about any artist at this moment at all. What about you?
I'm kind of in the same position. It was crazy when they first started, putting the teaser trailer out on social media, and then definitely when you went and saw it in theaters, because Michael Jackson has always been relevant in pop culture, but there hasn't been a movie about his life since the first biopic, which was
a long time ago.
Yeah, early, late 90s, right? Or what was it called?
American Dream.
American Dream, that's right, yeah. That's the last time we saw a biopic about his life. So it's just really crazy that, being gone for so long, still having a movie about his life can do so well. And just a lot of people, especially this new generation, didn't really know a lot about him, or didn't know kind of the stuff that he went through, especially as a kid. That's basically, we'll get more into it as the film goes, but
yeah,
it was just really cool to see. And I was kind of the same way. Like, after we saw the film, I was listening to the Thriller album on repeat, like I've heard those songs since I was, little, but after seeing the movie, it kind of just like sparked a rejuvenized love and a different appreciation for the music, because he's cold. That's King of Pop for a reason, and nobody's come close since. And I know they say the person that's probably closest to him would be The Weeknd, but Weeknd's not touching Michael Jackson. The Weeknd cannot dance.
Yeah, no, nobody's close. They say Beyonce, Drake in numbers, and Taylor Swift in money. Okay, Taylor Swift make more than Michael Jackson money, being real, but we ain't giving her Michael Jackson credit.
Right.
No offense, Swifties. But and Beyonce cool, but she ain't Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, I think if Beyonce had a glove, Beyonce don't have anything that is cynically attached to her. Like, what Beyonce costume could we put on that is Beyonce, other than her blonde hair? Her blonde hair is her icon. But Michael Jackson, it wasn't about his hair. It was about his glove. It was about his moonwalk. It was about his military-looking clothes. Like, you could see somebody wear the military clothes, the pants, and the jacket. They don't have to dye their hair. That's Michael Jackson. A girl would have to be voluptuous, dressed like Beyonce, wearing the Beyonce skirt, and the song. And then you'd be like, oh, you're Beyonce. But take that song away, take that hair color away, you'd be like, oh, you're just a woman. That's the difference between Beyonce and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson just had better branding. And Beyonce has great branding, but it's not Michael Jackson level.
Yeah, he was the first, you know, and you could come near damn near close, but never be like the original. But I feel like she know that, you know.
Yeah.
Because Beyonce is huge now.
Beyonce is Beyonce though.
Like she's in her own thing, but it's just crazy. Like we'll get more into it, but just how big he was before social media kind of blew my mind too. Like he was known everywhere.
Everywhere around the world.
Everybody knew who he was.
Brazil,
and it was just
China,
no
Portugal.
Instagram, no Facebook, no YouTube. I mean, they probably had YouTube, but not like how it is today. And it was really impressive.
Not until the 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. So let's get into this movie. This is a spoiler review. Okay, plenty of spoilers. If you do not want spoilers, you should have already seen Michael by now. But if you don't want spoilers, watch somebody else's video because this movie been out. And
before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Josh and Josh. I know you hear that song in the background. Before you keep going in this video, if you want to take a little break, go check out our full music discography at JoshandJosh.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
Again, that's JoshandJosh.bandcamp.com. The description will be in the link of the YouTube video and on our Instagram page, JoshandJoshMusic, in the link in the bio. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. We've been doing it for a minute and we love it. But yes.
Okay.
Here goes our review of the Michael biopic.
So the movie opens up so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It says 1966, Gary, Indiana. Young Michael Jackson was looking out the window, and it opens up on a snowy day. These kids are sitting outside, they're all playing, and then it zooms into the house and you see Michael looking outside at the kids. And then the father's like, Joseph's like, Michael, stop looking out that window. He said, Michael, come get back to work. And then it just shows you that Michael did not grow up with a true childhood of playing, because he had to work. From 8 years old, he was in the club, working with his brothers, making money, and it worked. But his sacrifice was his childhood. So,
and it's just crazy because like the first shot of the film is about to tell you literally what this whole film was about, and it's Michael's struggle of never getting to experience a childhood. He was a child, but like he said, he was in the club at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., you know, singing, dancing, and performing for people. While you're 8 years old, people getting drunk and stuff. Like, kind of crazy to think about it. In retrospective, you would have no 8-year-old in the club today.
Yeah.
You know, performing and singing and dancing with strippers and stuff like that.
Well, it wasn't no strippers, but it was in the 60s, and it was a different time. Like, there wasn't cussing in the music in the 60s like that. It was just maybe provocative at most, but it wasn't like that at the time. But you couldn't do that nowadays, even though some people still do. But yes, and then they showed Joseph. Next thing they showed was Joseph sitting at the table with the family, and he was showing his frustrations about how they currently live and how they have to buckle down to make it in this world. Basically, because this is the 60s, we're America, doing racism, and as a black family, he had to be real with each other and say that, hey, we're going to be poor for forever if we do not work 10 times harder than we even think we need to. At this young age, if we don't work now, we will be poor. Y'all want me to keep working at this factory coming home hurt? Or y'all want to go out there and sing? And it was like, yeah, we want to go sing. So,
you want to work in the mill like me the rest of your life?
Yeah. And it was just the truth. It was the truth. Because they end up living in a mansion. They end up living way out of Gary, Indiana, and never gone back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I guess his advice was truthful. So, the next it says, over the next few years, the Jackson's brother perform at shows with Michael at the front singing. Although they do a good job, Joseph wants them to keep practicing after they've done performed at 8 o'clock at night, and not take breaks. When Michael speaks up after one show, Joseph beats him with the belt in front of everyone else. Michael escapes into stories like Peter Pan, where he wishes he was like his hero. He wishes he could stand up to the bad guy, Captain Hook,
aka Joseph, his dad. Yeah. And this is also the first scene where you really get a good kind of understanding of his mom, you know, and understanding like she sees them working like super hard, and they get home from that rehearsal or performance, and she's like, all right, you know, eat your food, brush your teeth, go to bed. They got school in the morning. But Joseph was like, no, we're practicing.
We're practicing.
Get your stuff right now. We're gonna practice. till we get it perfect. And that's when you first kind of see, the struggle of their relationship struggle, with the kids, and like Joseph wants them to be as successful as possible and doesn't really care about their rest and
what they have to sacrifice to get that.
Exactly.
And the mother does care, but at the time she's quiet. So
because it's 60s, she ain't gonna say nothing.
She's not gonna say nothing. She didn't want to ruffle the feathers more than she already did. So then the next thing that happens, Joseph dubs his son the Jackson 5 and has them performing at other venues, as we mentioned earlier, and the club at a young age. And then they end up performing, it wasn't the Apollo, but something just like it, where they were spotted by Suzanne de Passé, which is French, who works for Motown. She meets Joseph about signing the boys, and she was like, at the time, she was like, are you the manager? He was like, I'm the father. She was like, hey, that's who we need to talk to. But yes, she meets Joseph about I already said that. The Jacksons go to Motown and meet the producer and Motown president, Berry Gordy, who is a big deal. Berry Gordy, huge over Motown. He was the main person who signed it. Y'all look into Motown. When Michael is in the recording booth, Barry tells him to keep his feet still, since he likes to move his feet while singing. And it's really funny. If you know Michael Jackson later on in the studio, he dances while he does singing, and all his producers ever are like, shut that up, Michael, because the mic is very sensitive and it picks up on all the movements, even when you breathe. So they're like, you can't edit out foot stomps in a voice track. So like, please stay still. But Michael, the music is just in him. He had to move.
And it's kind of crazy because, like we make music too, and we've been in some pretty nice studios, and it's kind of crazy how those mics pick up everything. And like, you don't think it would, but like you sit there recording and you click your iPhone to lock it and it'll hear the click, or it'll hear like you tapping and stuff. So I get what they're saying.
You can light a lighter and hear that in the music.
You hear it really clearly. But that was also just kind of also crazy, putting in perspective how young he was being in the studio. Like, he's just a kid, he's dancing, but they're like, you got to stay still. We got to record this, because they know is going to be some of the greatest music to come out, in the 70s, which crazy, but continuing on. So the Motown was literally the stepping stone of their career. That's like really got them going, to be honest, because that opened
other than Joseph.
Yeah.
Yes, and then that section finishes up where Michael, when it was time to go, Jackson, his father was like, let's go. And then Michael gave Barry Gordon a hug because he sees him more as a father figure than Joseph. And in the movie, he calls Joseph because Joseph has a relationship with him. He was like, don't call me your father, call me Joseph.
Yeah.
Like, that's how cold the relationship is. He told them that.
All the brothers called him Joseph.
Yeah.
Like, nobody called him Dad.
That's not them being funny. They literally just called him Joseph.
Which is weird.
And I think they called the mom, right?
Yeah, she was mom. Or mama.
So yeah. So the next movie, the way the movie goes, is like when it does a scene change, it'll go, it just shows 1978. So I'm going to edit this in. 1978. We in the Michael movie. Los Angeles Jackson. Yes, Michael. Now he's played by Jafar Jackson. Before we get into this, Jafar Jackson did his 1, 2, and 3 in my personal opinion.
Yeah, he did really well.
He looks like Michael, but the version of Michael he looked like is the Michael before the nerve surgery. So they had to do some little, some makeup when he had to do the rest to make that look. But
speaking of that is kind of crazy because I realized that as well. Like, because they literally show you the nose job that he gets. That's a little bit, probably we're about to talk about that. So I'll actually wait till we get to that. But yeah.
Yeah, they do show the nose job. So when they first showed it was so creepy. All you see is in glass, and you see this face of Michael Jackson. Something that looks like Michael Jackson, but in your head, something in your brain says, that's not Michael Jackson. But it looks like Michael Jackson. And it's so creepy, bro, for like 5 minutes, because he looks like him, but doesn't look like him, and looks like him, and it just is a mind mess. And you hear his voice, and that's what messed you up, because he sounds like Michael Jackson.
Like Michael.
Sound just like Michael.
Hey, man. Which was kind of, it's just wild, because you know that is his nephew, but you could be related and not sound nothing alike, but the fact that he
was able to
sound just like him, not only singing, but just regular dialogue, talking to people, was very impressive.
Very.
And this is his first, like, major film he's ever been in, so hats off to Jafar Jackson. But yeah.
Yes.
Keep going.
Okay, so Michael is meeting with Quincy Jones. Shout out to Quincy Jones, he's my favorite. As he begins working on his latest album, Off the Wall. That's Michael with the afro nose. Okay. Michael asked executives to make it seem like his solo album was his idea when discussing it to Joseph. He later records Don't Stop You Get Enough in the studio by Quincy. By now, Michael has a huge number of fans who swoon upon seeing him, but also uses his fame to visit sick children. Yeah, because Michael is like that. He visits sick children. He also rescues a chimp named Bubbles from an unsafe environment, which is funny because...
Who's still alive today? Bubbles is.
Ain't that a great fact? His mama did not want him all with all these animals. She was like, Michael, can't you get some friends? He said, I don't have no friends. Nobody, they just look at me kind of like an animal because I'm so famous. They don't see me as a person.
Which was really, it was quite sad, you know, just to...
That he conceptually understood that at a young age.
To be that talented, and, you know, we as humans think, oh, if you had all the fame and all the talent, you think everybody would want to be your friend, but he showed you what it was actually like. You're like an animal at the zoo. People take pictures and just stare at you, don't even say, hey, how are you? Like, it's very, very sad.
Yeah, transactional.
But this film harps a lot around that, you know, message of the film. He never felt like he was, no, I wouldn't say belonged, but never really, like I said, got to be a kid, you know. He was working all the time and was in studios, and so it made sense why all of his friends were animals, because they would listen. Can't talk back.
Yes. So after that, Michael is also set up with his bodyguard that Joseph gave him, which his name was Bill Beret. So they call him Bill. Bill is big, and Bill is very necessary in the story later on. Okay, so next, Michael becomes insecure about his appearance after he develops vitiligo on his skin. He also gets a rhinoplasty to make his nose look more slender. And when Joseph sees him, Michael says it was for his sinuses. Now, that was a wrap up. The movie dramatized this much more, and it was much more better than they really put that down in a sentence. But
because what they really showed is just how much of a jerk Joseph was. Like,
yeah, he even called him Big Nose as a kid.
Called him Big Nose a lot. He's like, you don't know what you're doing, Big Nose. You got a big nose. You know that? And then obviously you keep telling that to your son, doesn't make him feel good about it. So
yeah,
and then he had the nerve when he got the surgery, he had the nerve to be mad at Michael. He's like, "What'd you do? You're gonna ruin your voice." And you're like, "But you the one that was, you know, telling him he had a big nose." And like,
yeah,
it was that kind of pissed me off. But we're not done.
Yeah, so yeah, it was really dramatic when he came home with the nose surgery.
Had the patch and everything. It looked pretty serious, but all in all, it's crazy though that they had to do the makeup, because after that, then we showed how Jafar looks in real life, you know, because they took off the, you know, prosthetics of the fake nose, and he even still looked like Michael after that, which was wild.
Okay, so next, Joseph continues to try to control his son's career, seeing himself as the reason they have any success at all. When it becomes clear Michael doesn't want to go along with his plans for a family tour, because at this time Michael is kind of like solo-esque, but he's still with the Jacksons, even though he's released his own album.
That was another big thing, which was crazy about Joseph, was Michael was trying to do these solo albums, but Joseph was like, "You work for me from 9 to 5." He's like, "You work for me. You work for the Jackson 5. You can make your own album with Quincy late at night all you want, but from 9 to 5, I own you." And you work Jackson for the 5. Jackson 5. And that was also crazy because he's way more successful than the Jackson 5 on his albums. But
yeah,
that was also a crazy scene. You really talking to your son like that, bro? That's helped. Because to be honest, I mean, they're still all very talented, but Michael was the lead singer, you know, like singing miles ahead of everybody. And all of his other brothers are, you know, very talented and played instruments, and the Jackson 5 are the Jackson 5, but Michael was the sound. When you hear ABC, don't stop till you get enough. Who's singing it? Michael. You know? But yeah, that kind of like wrapped up. He's still with the Jackson 5, because then it kind of jumps to a few years later, right, when he's doing the Thriller album with Quincy, and when it really like starts to take off. But
yeah, he didn't leave the Jacksons or go solo until after the Thriller album, which ain't that crazy because he was solo back then, solo in a group. Code. Yes, so Yeah, so when it becomes clear Michael does not want to go along with his family tour, Joseph tries to guilt him until he walks out and leaves with Bill. Because Michael was mad, so him and Bill just left. And then Bill basically told him, he said, "You're going to have to, if you want to not be under your father, you need to go live on your own." Because right now Michael still lives at the house, and he tells Bill, "I can't live on my own right now. I don't feel like it's right for me. I don't feel like I'm grown enough. / that's the right move." So um, he stays with him. They stop somewhere where Michael expresses his love for his family, but also a desire for creative freedom. And then what ends up happening is Michael ends up, which I don't know why they skipped a lot. So Michael with the Pepsi incident, which was huge, and everybody know he got burnt up. Because this back when they did the Jerry curl. Oh, I miss the Jerry curl. Even though it was no good for the hair. But very flammable. So he was up there with the pyrotechnics, and it came down and it burnt his head. And Michael Jackson was panting fire. Oh, that's Michael on fire. So Michael went to the hospital, and then he saw more sick kids. Michael's already visiting sick kids, but he saw more sick kids. And after meeting with the sick kids, he just saw it. He was like, okay, if I'm giving people love and inspiration, and Michael's goal was never to make black music, it was to make music for everybody. He said that my music isn't just for black people, it's for everybody. So he just said that, okay, I basically need to shine my love to the world, or shine my light to the world. And the best way to do it at this current moment is to stay in the Jackson 5. So that's basically came up with a decision. After going back to the hospital, he's like, I'm going to stay in the Jackson 5. And finish the Triumph tour, which is going to be T.
Yeah, they went on so many tours throughout the film, and it's kind of crazy. Like Joseph had them boys working all the time. After they're done with the tour, another tour. We got another tour set up. We got another one set up. But I think this in the film, was this also when he was also doing the Beat It music videos and the Thriller videos? Or was that like...
Mm-hmm. It's all at the same time.
Like, kind of around the same area.
Oh, wait, no, he's about to do
Oh, yeah, because first that's right. He meets the Miles Teller character in the recording studio, and that's when you were like, he says, I make music for everybody. The only way to do that is to get his stuff on MTV, because MTV would not play black artists. They would play like Bruce Springsteen. And
only
like rock people. And then they went to like the head of MTV, and he was like, you either gonna play me or we walk. Basically, like, it reminded me of Bohemian Rhapsody when they were like, we created this album, and he's like,
really great.
This is about us. But all of that to say, it was kind of crazy because they didn't play artists, but after they put Michael on MTV, that even skyrocketed him even more. Like, my mom even tells me to this day, she remembers watching those music videos on MTV, running nonstop, hour after hour. And it was...
Always lit, yeah, always lit.